It says we lied. All right, I think we lied. With the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, start out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. I'm Officer 5000, Matazapah. I'll be holding down tonight's class. Of course, if anybody has any questions, go ahead and type them in. But tonight, the chapter is The Blacks According to Paul. I forgot what I was watching, man, but they were still talking about the Greeks. You know, Paul was going to save the oppressor. And that is far from the truth. I was watching something on the YouTube. We still talking about this. I don't see how we still having this conversation in 2023. It should be clear that Paul was going to Israelites. So we're going to go a little bit over that tonight for like some of the newer people that's in that be on the chat and in the school. So we all on the same page. Taziah, you already know what time it is, man. You could pretty much help me out with this one. So we're going to talk about the Greeks. So the first thing that I want to do, right, I want to lay down the premises. I want Romans, the 9th chapter. Romans 9 and 1. Ooh, it's not a bigger one. It's not a It's some yeah, right here. Them red ones right there. Yeah, them red ones, they just gigantic, but you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that red one right there, yeah, those is large print. Yeah, we're gonna start off at Romans 9. What's that? Hamburger cheesy mac? What is that? Man. Jeez Louise. Yeah, 9, Romans the 9th chapter, and then just. Mm-hmm. Can I ask a question before we get this? Of course. What does it mean? So, what does it mean when Christ says that many are called and few are chosen? That many are called to do this work, but few are chosen. Like, okay, a lot of people start off being called, but a lot of people ain't chosen to stay. You see what I'm saying? Like plenty of people may hear the truth, but not a lot of people still come in here and do what they got to do. I heard the truth, and luckily I was chosen. You see what I'm saying? It's just not. It is not real. Not a lot to that. Mm-hmm.
Would John the Baptist be an example of being called but not chosen?
He definitely wasn't, man. John the Baptist wasn't. John the Baptist, he was. Okay, he was supposed to do a specific job. He was supposed to do a specific job in the beginning, because remember, even the angel came to his parents and everything like that. Mm-hmm. So he was chosen to do a job. And John did that. He did what he was supposed to usher in the way for Christ. But the thing with John is, John got weak in the end. In this time of adversity, he questioned Christ. You know, that was his main. How could you do that too? I mean, you baptized the nigga. You seen the glory come down on him. You seen everything. You knew who walked up to you. I don't even see why we even have that debate every damn year. That is stupid. He walked up to Christ, knew who he was. And then in the end, why would I send people to come ask Taziah who the hell he is? If he's the person that I'm looking for, if remember Christ, who was it? Was it John that made the statement? Not one that loose something about, you know, you're greater than me, like you're better than me type thing. That was John that said it, right? Something like that, yeah. So he knew. That was crazy.
he knows. I mean, you said today though. You still said today.
Right. And then I can't say who's chosen and who's not.
I mean, somebody that could.
Because you could be chosen. You could be everybody. I believe that, and I can clarify this with Tazariwan, that brothers are chosen for whatever specific reason that they here for. They come in here and do whatever job they do, and then that's it. You was about to say something?
No, I'm saying you said it today.
What's that?
Basically, you can see it today when we're talking about brothers coming in and leaving.
Yeah, man. Look,
you can see it. You can see it. As you can see. Okay, I'm trying to say something about being getting us banned.
Mm-hmm.
What is Purple Pigs? Did I see on the Purple Pigs?
That's funny. I did.
You know what I'm saying? The Purple Pigs. Them Purple Pigs is a prime example. Their leader is a prime example. You know.
Uh huh.
You know what I'm saying? They know what he saw was the truth, and then to just separate.
Right. Man, look. So we're talking about. So today we're talking about. We're going to talk about the Greeks, right? So we all know in here. I hope we know. At least I hope we know that the Greeks that Paul went to, when it talks about the Greeks in this New Testament, we all know that it was Israelites, right? All right. Prove it. Using the scriptures.
Romans 9:3.
So this definitely was a scripture that I was going to go to set of premises, right? So what are you going to do? What are you going to say by? Why does this keep going? What are you going to use Romans 9:3 to say?
Because it says,
Why is this?
Paul starts giving a description of who his brethren are.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, his brethren according to the flesh.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody should know that Paul was from the tribe of Benjamin.
Mm-hmm.
Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin.
Mm-hmm.
So if he says according to the flesh.
Grab the mic if.
So when Paul says according to his flesh,
Mm-hmm.
he's talking about his fellow Israelites.
Right.
And then when you read on verse 4, it says, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of God and the promises.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Paul letting the readers know that the Israelites have the promise, the Israelites have the covenants, the Israelites is pertaining to adoption. So when you read it in the New Testament where it talks about adoption, it's pertaining to the Israelites.
Okay, so let's read it from the top, and then I got a question for you.
Romans 9:1.
Yeah, Romans 9:1.
You still on Romans 9:13? You called earlier.
No, it was one. No, Romans 9:1. I'm sorry if I did say 13. It's like it.
No sweat. This is a book of Romans chapter 9 verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
I said the truth is in Yahushua.
Mm-hmm.
I lie not. My conscience also bearing me witness in the holy.
What's going on? So the first statement Paul just said was, hold on one second. This camera, crazy. So the first thing Paul said was that he is telling the truth. Hold on. What's going on? Salami, bro. All right. So the first statement that Paul made, he says, I say the truth in Christ, I lie not. Right? And Christians will make Paul out to be a liar. The precepts preceding this or after this, right, says that, not preceding, but after, says that, that he only loves his brothers. But the Christian church will say otherwise. So they're making Paul out to be a liar. Read on.
Sure. It's like verse 3. Somebody. No,
Right, and it says his conscience is also bearing him witness.
right.
Go ahead.
In his Holy Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 2. That I have great heaviness and continued sorrow in my heart.
Right. He's making a statement, and he's not making this statement out of Romans 9, chapter 9. He's not making this statement out of feelings of happiness or gladness. He's making these statements out of heaviness and continual sorrow. Read on.
God. Verse 3. For I could wish that myself was accursed from Christ for my brethren.
For who?
For my brethren.
Now, what does a curse mean, y'all? If you don't know, look it up. Accursed. For I wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren. You, blessing? No, not quite. You got it? Where you reading it from?
Like regular dictionary, Oxford.
Okay.
A curse that says used to express strong dislike of or anger towards someone or something. And under a curse.
Yeah. Because that's not exactly what I.
Is it safe to say, sir, that it means to be banned or
That's what
excommunicated?
That's more so what I know. Like separated. Somebody got y'all got the blue letter? I don't got it on my phone. I had just got a new phone. I need to actually download it. But if you don't have it, it's a good app for you to have. Of course, you could check out these words in Hebrew, in Greek, and get the the meaning of them. So he wished that he could be separated or banned from Christ. Right? For you. He sees one thing that Paul understands is he sees what Israelites are going through. And he has this sorrow in his heart, the same way I would, the same way I do, the same way y'all brothers do when you see the plight of Black people, when you see the condition that Black people are in. I mean, I'm sure it doesn't make you happy. I'm sure it doesn't make you feel good, right? So he has this sorrow in his heart because of his brethren, right? Read on.
For I could wish that myself was accursed from Christ, from Yahushua, for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh.
So this goes back to exactly what Ka'ash was saying about your brethren. You were correct. Not only did he say brethren, he followed it up. That was he said brethren in one part of the sentence, right? Then you see the comma, and then it's my kinsman. Like he reiterates it. Like he's breaking that part down, like my kinsman, according to the flesh. It can't be nobody else but an Israelite. So how is Paul making this statement right here that he only wished that he's only having sorrow and heaviness for just these specific people that they could be saved, but all of a sudden, a chapter later or something like that, now he's trying to save everybody. Matter of fact, in the same, don't they use this same chapter? Is it 9 and 26? They use this same chapter to say that other people can come in, because this is the chapter that you would use to go back to Hosea. Then you got to take them back to Hosea. You got to do all this stuff with Christians. You got to flip through hoops to goddamn get them to understand one easy point. So Paul is not going to say at the beginning of the chapter that he only his heart is heavy for the Israelites and he only wants these specific people to have everything, and then go to the end of the chapter or the middle of the chapter and say, everybody. And then not only does he say his kinsmen according to the flesh, he even breaks it down a little bit more and lets you know who these people are. Verse 4.
Okay, verse 4, Romans 9 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
Who are Israelites?
Who are Israelites? Right? These are my kinsmen according to the flesh. These are my brethren. Israelites. Okay, read on.
To whom pertaineth the adoption?
All right, what does that mean, the adoption? The adoption.
The adoption, adoption of the law, like that we were given. I can't explain it. Never mind.
It's okay.
No, I want to try it. Remember when Yahweh turned his back on us, and then Christ had to come so that we could be adopted back in.
Mm-hmm.
That, am I on the right track?
Yeah. I think I gotta think I can remember a scripture.
Explain it though.
No, that's you good. Okay. This might help you. Ephesians 1 and 4. I'll just read it real quick. It's too big. That's Raleigh. All right. It says Ephesians 1 and 4. It says, according as he has chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy, or we know that to be separate, and without blame before him in love, having predestinated us unto the adoption of children by Jesus Christ to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will. So you're correct, right? We was adopted back to the Most High, but in order for that to take place, it took a mediator, which was Christ. All right, so we going back to Romans 9 and 4. No, go ahead. Do you think? I think it's another scripture in there with adoption too.
Yeah, it is. I'm trying to think. No, this is what it's talking about. Northern Kingdom, they broke the law.
Right.
And then once they broke the law, we kept it down in the Southern Kingdom.
Right, we did too.
And then all of a sudden, we broke the law.
Right.
When we broke the law, we needed a mediator, Yahweh, to come back to save us and bring us back to the adoption.
Right. And one thing to mention, because we only got 2 hours, so I really didn't go all through the whole Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom breaking up. That's what I'm looking at it right in front of me, though.
I got a precept, Galatians 4 and 5.
Galatians 4 and 5. Let's read it real quick.
Because it goes specifically on what
you got it.
Said.
Y'all can write that in your precept book. Galatians 4 and 5. And then I'll just since Taziat mentioned it, I'll go ahead and give it a quick. I don't want to leave nobody hanging. Who might be in the chat or whatever.
Galatians, the book of Galatians, chapter 4, verse 5. To redeem them that was under the law, that we might receive the adoption of sons.
Right.
Perfect.
Use both of those for your adoption, right? So we had to be adopted back to the Most High, right? Because we was, of course, not his children at one point in time. We broke the law. It says it in this same chapter, but it did say in this same chapter, it also says in this chapter that where I said it, that they are not my children, there they will be called the sons of the living God. It also says that in the chapter, right? So verse 4 says, who are Israelites, whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory, the glory of the Most High, and the covenants. We all got them. I mean, y'all, it's a precept for every word in this verse right here. You can find a precept for adoption. You can find a precept for glory. You can find a precept for covenants and service, and show that this is just all Israelites, right? You can do that on your own. What'd you say? No, go ahead. Come on.
Like, nah, and the promise and the giving of the law.
Right, and the promises and the giving of the law. Whose are the fathers?
It's like, you want me to keep going?
If you could you start at 4, top of 4?
Okay.
We'll finish that.
This is the book of Romans. It's like book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption,
Mm-hmm.
and the glory, and the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the service of the Most High,
Mm-hmm.
and the promises. Verse 5. Whose are the father?
Right, all of that stuff. The covenants, the glory, the covenants, the service, and the promises. Right, that was our fathers belong to us. Go ahead.
And of whom, as concerning the flesh, Christ Yahushua came.
Like he literally cuts all Christianity in these few verses right here, because he says, "As concerning the flesh, Christ came," meaning Christ came specifically for these people. So when you read in John 3:16, how can John 3:16 would be a contradiction of this? Right? The way Christians break down John 3:16, it would be a contradiction to Paul, the very person who they developed their doctrine around. Right? Because Paul says, as concerning the flesh, Christ came. John 3:16, they try to say Christ came for everybody, and that's not the case. All right, read on.
Whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Yahushua came, who is over all. Most High blessed forever. Amen.
Right. Let's not forget who is over all. A lot of people don't tap into that. Who is over all? Christ is over all. So you stinking prophets that people want to follow. You know what I'm saying? Why would you follow that if the Bible is saying that Christ is over all of them? Why would you want to follow them? Everybody think that, okay, even if you thought that Yahushai and Allah, Yahweh and Allah and all these different gods was the same God. Because you know how a lot of people think that they're all the same gods, that we all just taking different paths to get to the same God. You still following the prophet of your religion. So that doesn't line up with anything right here. Right, the original text.
Right. And they also use Paul as changing Yahushua's words as well.
Yeah.
And make it seem like Paul was doing what Christ wanted him to do. You know what I'm saying? And they go after Paul saying that he came to save all.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then you gotta ask the question, like, okay, it says right here who's over all.
Mm-hmm.
So Yahushua, our King, you know what I'm saying? He's over all. So who you following, Paul, or you following Yahushua?
Right.
That's a question you gotta ask.
Well, we know clearly they follow Paul.
They follow Paul.
They follow John.
Right.
They follow everybody other than Christ.
Right.
Right. They still under John's baptism. They misconstrue Paul. They just jam Paul off. Paul was just too smart for him. Paul was just he was just too smart. Like, imagine a layman trying to read like the work of a college professor. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you've never been in like higher level schooling or something, and you try to read like a scholarly article, you'll read it and you'll interpret it to what you think it is, but you can misconstrue what he was writing because his brother is on a whole nother level of writing. And Christians are just not in. They don't even. For one, they don't even want to hear the truth. They don't even want to hear the truth. But they wrestle with Paul because they wrestle with the other scriptures. So you can make Paul make all the sense in the world. But just like what it was, Peter 3:15, where Peter says that Paul's writings is hard to understand. How would Peter be able to? Somebody blow my mind. How would Peter be able to make that statement? Somebody blow my mind. that Paul's writings is hard to be understood to the unlearned man. How is Peter able to make that statement that Paul's writings are hard to understand to the unlearned man? How can Peter say that?
Was Peter a Roman too, or?
No, Peter wasn't a Roman. He's definitely an Israelite.
Like Paul was.
Uh-huh.
Like an Israelite, but was living as a Roman. Was a Roman citizen.
Nah.
Citizen?
So I'm gonna tell you how Peter. No, you got it.
I said Peter was at that time he was the head priest. Yeah, that's the one that Paul went back to get his approval. You understand? Even though he had approval of Christ, he still went to Peter and asked for his approval to go teach.
Right. So look, I'm gonna tell you how Peter was able to make that statement. In 1 Peter 3:15, he says, Paul's writings are hard to be understood to the unlearned man. My question was, how was he able to make that statement? Peter was able to make that statement that Paul's writings were hard to understand, evidently because he read them. How can I say that your writings are hard to understand if I've never seen them? You see what I'm saying? He was able to read them, and what was going on at that time, y'all remember, is there was Israelites that was mad at Peter. Mad at Paul, because they thought that Paul was out there teaching people not to follow the laws. They thought Paul was teaching Christianity. Remember, they was like, you out there, these brothers, they think that you out there teaching them to go against the law, statutes, and commandments, like to go against the laws of Moses. Somebody get me that real quick. Where's that at? Somebody, that's in Acts what?
Acts 21, sir.
Acts 21?
Acts 21 and it's like what, 21 and 21, something like that.
It's been a while, man, since I've been there.
Yeah, all right, yes.
21 and 21.
Acts 21, 21.
That's what I'm looking for, though. I'm gonna go to this one.
There's a book of Acts, chapter 21, verse 21.
Can you start at 17?
This is the book of Acts, chapter 21, verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were come to Jerusalem, the brethren received us gladly.
Mm-hmm.
And the day followed, Paul went in with us unto James, and all the elders were present. And when he had saluted them, he declared particularly what things the Most High had wrought among the Gentiles by his ministry.
So now that we read Romans, the 9th chapter, the beginning from 1 to 5, now we understand that these Gentiles are not the oppressor. It would make no sense for him to make a statement about his heart being sorrow and all that for black people, and then turn around and just try to save the oppressor. It makes no sense. Can a Gentile be an Israelite? A Gentile can be an Israelite?
In name only, but not like a physical Gentile.
Right, but according to the Bible, can an Israelite be a Gentile? Yes, he's actually correct. If remember in Hosea, when the Lord said that you're not my people no more. Now, if I'm not the Lord's people, then who am I? I'm a Gentile. I'm just like everybody else. So Paul in that same chapter, Romans the 9th chapter, he makes that statement. He quotes Hosea, and he also says that where the Lord said that we wasn't going to be his people, there it will be said that you are the sons of the living God. So now of course, we see that we was adopted back to the Most High, right? Did somebody say, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, like he also said when Yahushua left, they were asking that question, I think in Acts 7, and they were asking about is he going to be going to the Gentile, go amongst the Gentiles to teach the Gentiles?
To teach the Gentiles, right?
You know what I'm saying?
A lot of people get tripped up on that one. Go amongst it, yeah. People get caught up on that one. I remember that was a stumbling block for me at first. I was like, what the hell is this? Then when I understood it, I was like, oh, that was literally talking about two different Gentiles.
Right.
But it says, where's we at? So he went in.
We in verse 20 right now.
And he declared with things that God wrought among the Gentiles by his ministry. Right? So Paul is talking about the times where he's in these different places, right? Which I'm gonna show you in this book. I pulled the atlas out today, so we can look in the atlas. Read on.
Verse 20. And when he heard it, they glorified the Most High.
Right. The brothers that he was talking to glorified the Most High. Mm-hmm.
And said unto him, Thou seest, brethren, how many thousands of Jews there are which believe, and they are all zealous of the law.
Wait 1 minute. In chapter 19 and verse 19, he just said that his ministry was wrought among the Gentiles. Verse 20, he says, how many thousands of Jews which believe? Who was he going to? The Jews or the Gentiles? Or could these Jews be these Gentiles that he's talking about? Right? Verse 21, or did you read that out? See these brothers, how many thousands of Jews there are? Go ahead.
Right. There are which believe that they are all zealous of the law.
And I want to point something out right here. It says they're zealous of the law. If you're using Paul to tell me that I can eat pork, that I can do everything that goes against the law, that I don't have to follow the law, why is he saying that these people are zealous of the law? It wouldn't even matter. Would it matter? No, it wouldn't matter if they was not eating pork, because the laws is done away with. It wouldn't matter if they're being homosexuals, because the law is done away with. But that's not what Paul is saying. He said these brothers is zealous of the law. That means somehow Paul is following the law, and the people that surround him are following the law. But how all of a sudden now, generations later, that law that Paul was following, and that law that he was happy to tell the other brothers that, you know, these Gentiles is zealous of, so now that is gone? What are we talking about here? And you know why Christians aren't able to critically think? Because it's the parents' fault. We teach our kids not to critically think at an early age. And I always use this example. Say for an example, I was in an apartment growing up, and then I'm thinking Santa Claus is coming down the chimney, or I believe he's coming down the chimney, but we ain't got no damn chimney. So you ask your mom, hey, mom, how, you know, you putting off the cookies and you didn't sat up all night to bake this damn Edomite. You sat up all night to bake this goddamn Edomite some cookies. So, Toll House. And you setting out the cookies, you setting out the milk for this Edomite to eat, right? You setting out the cookies and everything for this Edomite to eat. And you like, well, mom, how is he going to come down? How are we going to get our presents tonight if we ain't got no chimney? And she make up, you know how your parents, you know, we quick on the draw there. Well, you know, he gonna do this, he gonna do that, and he got magic powers, and he gonna sprinkle some dust here and there, and your presence is, you know what I'm talking about. And so your kids don't grow up thinking critical. They know that something is wrong. How the hell are we gonna get these presents if we ain't got no chimney? But then when you start to try to make up stuff, you take that ability away from them. So now you got a 50-year-old man that cannot think critically. He can't read some words that's in front of him. We didn't read nothing. We didn't do no crazy breakdowns. We didn't go to no extra scriptures or nothing like that. We just simply read what was in front of us, and we're able to see that, for one, the law, that Paul and the brothers that was around him was following the law, and we understand that the Jews that he was talking about was Gentiles, or considered Gentiles. All right, verse 21.
And they are informed of thee.
And they are informed of thee. Read on. Y'all know what that means? Informed of thee, like they they know about you, like they heard about you, like they're informed, like I know about you, right? Read on.
That thou teaches all the Jews which are among the Gentiles to forsake Moses.
Now listen, y'all hear how it keeps switching up? It just said that he's teaching the Jews among the Gentiles. I thought he was only teaching the Gentiles. That's letting you know is that a Jew can be a Gentile. Y'all don't get tripped up with this. A Jew can be a Gentile. Simple as that. Negro, before you came in here, you thought you was African. You would have been what? A Gentile. You didn't know anything about the truth, didn't know anything about Israelites, didn't know nothing about nothing. You thought, and matter of fact, ain't that what they teach us in? Ain't that what they teach in church? You a Gentile saved by grace? They teach you that you're a Gentile. I know I heard that before. I'm a Gentile saved by grace. Nigga, what the hell is you talking about? You wasting the grace, right? Wasting your time period for you the time period that's allotted for you to get yourself together. Wasting it and pissing on Christ's grave at the same time, but you wasting it. So they're informed that you teach the Jews that are among the Gentiles to forsake Moses. What does that mean, y'all? Nah. I'm gonna give it to. I gotta get the young officers. You got it. Right. To abandon or forsake Moses. They thought they was like, yo, these brothers is informed of you that you're around here teaching the Jews not to follow the laws of Moses, to forsake Moses, or like the brother said, to abandon Moses. Right? Read on.
Saying that they ought not to circumcise their children, neither to walk after the customs.
Now look, you see how the brothers came to him. The brothers is like, yo, they think that you teaching people to forsake Moses, not to do what? Not to circumcise and not to walk after the customs. That's following the laws, and that's our culture, our customs, that we have.
Passover.
They're saying, well, they are informed that you're teaching these Jews not to do that. Ain't that the same as Christianity today? Wasn't Paul being accused of teaching Christianity? He's being accused. They're saying that, they think that you're not teaching the laws of Moses and that you're telling them to forsake their customs. That's exactly what we're being taught today. To forget about Moses. Forget the Passover. Easter is funner. Forget what we're about to do Monday. Feast of First Fruits. Forget that. Celebrate, honor the fallen veterans. Right? Ain't that what's Monday? Ain't that Memorial Day or something? Paul was being accused of what Talbert upstairs is teaching right now. He up there teaching that right now, to forsake Moses and to forget about your customs. You see what I'm saying? And we're about to see what they tell. We're about to see what they tell Paul. Read on.
Verse 22. What is it, therefore? The multitude must needs come together, for they will hear that thou art come.
Yeah, they're gonna come together, and they're gonna hear that. They're gonna hear that you here, and they're gonna come together to do what? Read on.
Do therefore this that we say to thee.
So they're gonna try. So you know that they're gonna try to come and harm you. We don't play that. You teaching Negroes to not follow the law, so we can go back into slavery. Nigga, what is wrong with you? Look, all right, but the brothers that's there is wise. So they like, this is what you do. They telling Paul, this is what you do. Read on.
We have 4 men which have a vow on them.
Right. We have 4 men which have a vow on them. Y'all know pretty much. And the only vow I know is the Nazarite vow. So these brothers got a vow on them. Right. Read on.
24. Them take and purify themselves with them, and be at charge with them,
Mm-hmm.
that they say that they may shave their heads,
Mm-hmm.
and all may know that those things whereof they were informed concerning thee are nothing
Mhm.
but that thou thyself also walkest orderly and keepest the law.
And what was Paul doing? That last part?
And keepest the law.
Keeping the law. He's telling Paul to do these. You got these four brothers that have a Nazarite vow. So do as these four brothers, so you could do what? Show everybody that you keeping the law. How can you use somebody? How can you tell me not to follow the law? You're telling me to break the law with somebody who's following it. How can you tell me to break the law and use somebody's words that actually follow the law? That's crazy. Now we're starting to see that Christianity is literally a mental illness. The niggas that don't want to listen to what we're saying, you don't want to listen to what we're saying. For one, you got intelligence. You know what we're saying is right. You just don't want to change your life. Because when we say what we say, you're forced to take a change. You're forced to look at your behaviors. You're forced to look at yourself in the mirror. You're forced to look at the man in the mirror. And you have to say, am I going to continue being this disgusting bastard I've been in this Christian church, or am I going to change myself and be like these Israelites who told me the goddamn truth? You see what the decision is time and time again. I'm going to be this disgusting bastard. You see what I'm saying? But how can you tell me that the laws is done away with, and you use a man that's following the laws? It says right here that that they're telling Paul to do this so that people can see that Paul is orderly and that he's keeping the law. It's crazy. That's wild. All right, now Paul went to the brothers that Paul went to. Man, this camera is wacky. The brothers that Paul went to. We know now that they were Greeks, right? Now, they must have been singing that in school or something. All right, now let me show you. Do y'all know what the Greeks are? What the brothers? Matter of fact, somebody give me Ecclesiasticus. Is that Ecclesiasticus 1:4? Is that when I think that's the first chapter where they talk about the Greeks and how they was made to like give up their law and stuff like that? I'm gonna just get that real quick. I don't think it's that. No, it's Maccabees. I'm tripping. Yeah, it's like it's either one and one, right?
Is it Maccabees 1:41?
41. Okay, so can I get 10? All right, we'll go up to 7, and I'm gonna just skip down. So we'll go up to 7, right? Y'all know about Alexander the Greek. You'll never hear me say Alexander the Great because he wasn't great, not to me anyway. So Alexander the Greek, we all know who he was. Verse 7.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died.
Mm-hmm.
And his servants bare rule everyone in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So did the sons after them many years. The evils were multiplied in the earth.
Right. So right here, right, is you see, for one, this is Greek history, right? And this is the rise of Edomites, right? This is when you first start to see Edomites rise into their full, like, power. right? Where you can start to see that you remember where you remember that the prophecy that they was gonna live, take everything by with the sword and live under the dew of heaven and all that kind of stuff like that. This is almost like the beginning where you start to see that, right? The Greeks, because how did they took the earth by storm. They conquered everything. They conquered everybody. But it says that one thing that I want to hone in on, it says, and after Alexander, which is an Edomite, after his death, he had like 4 generals that was under him, and they all put crowns under their heads, on their heads. I can only give you a couple. It's like Lycomassus. It's in here. The 4 names is in here. The 4 names is actually in here somewhere, but you can Google it. So they put crowns on their heads, and then even their sons after them put crowns on their heads. But evils were multiplied in the earth when these damn Edomites rose to power, man. You know what I mean? And these are the same people who run the earth today. So when Job says the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, we understand who it is. What's the other one? The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. When the righteous bear rule, the earth rejoices. When the wicked, but y'all know all them wicked scriptures, man. Evils was multiplied in the earth. Why? By these wicked people. Verse 10.
Verse 10. And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surname.
Epiphanes.
Epiphanes, right? Son of Antiochus the king, who had been a hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. Verse 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men.
There went out wicked men out of Israel in the days of the times of these Edomites. Read on. Who
persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
Isn't this history repeating itself? This is, knowing what we know, then we know that there's always black men that's telling us to join America. There's always black men that's telling us to vote. We always being told to make some kind of agreement with these people. You know what I mean? Trying to love them, trying to accept them and all that kind of stuff. That's wickedness. Why? Because the Lord told us to be separate from all these people. You know what I mean? You're giving me wicked counsel. You're giving me evil counsel, right? Read on.
Let us go and make covenant with the heathens that are round about us.
Man, let us make a covenant with the heathen. Let us start following Islam. Let us start following Christianity. It's Negroes getting into Buddhism and all that kind of stuff, man. Like, man, we don't even know what's going on. This dude was like, I was watching something and this dude was telling me, he was saying to read whatever the book them Indians read. I was like, oh man, he was just acting like this was just the golden truth right here. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Yeah, it's crazy. It's bad, right? So understanding what I just said, now we understand what Paul said when he said he had this heaviness and this sorrow in his heart, man, for his brothers, man. God damn, it's rough out there for a black man. It's rough. Read on. You're trying to find your way. You're trying to find your way, but you got all these damn stumbling blocks in your way. Shit. You know what I mean? And you ain't got nobody telling you, look, man, watch out for that rock right there, brother. All right, come on, follow me. Go this way, because you already know where all the rocks and the bricks and the dips in the road that he could, all the stumbling blocks. You know how to take him around the stumbling blocks so that he don't sprain his ankle. But a lot of us like, man, I'm gonna spring my ankle, man. Fuck that. You spring it once and you go back and spring it again. Because we just hard. That's what stiff-necked people mean. We are very stiff-necked. sometimes I just see stuff on Facebook or social media, or just even in the news, and where we see what's happening to us, and we still don't separate. We still choose to vote every year after year. We know that nothing's gonna happen. We still continue to do, like, just stiff-necked. We'll just rather continue to do everything that doesn't mean it, that leads us into insanity, without changing. So we're talking about Alexander, and it was wicked men that went to go make a covenant with the heathen that was round about. Read on.
For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
Now, what does that mean? Right. And they were dependent on them. And since we left them, now it says, since we departed from them, we've had much sorrow. Now we're hungry. Now we don't have a house for our car. You don't have a house with a 4-car garage, so you can park your car in the damn garage. Now you got to park your car on the street. Now your car is going to get rained on. Ooh-wee. Like, since we departed from them, we had much sorrow. It was brothers back then that thought that since we separated from the oppressor, or since we've been away from them, that somehow, things have been bad. If you notice, anytime that we separate away from the oppressor, we start to get ourselves together, man. Things start, like, there'll be a level of, like, there'll be a conscious increase. Did that make sense? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about, man. It'd be like a little increase in our consciousness. I know that happened with, what was that? It was something specific that happened. And black people band together. Them riots. Remember the riots? Black people band together. I know here in Delaware, we seen brothers. Now, it was wrong, but we seen brothers watching each other's polish sneakers. Yeah, they had brotherhood out there. Boy, they was like, "You want these, brother? Oh, here, man." And they was up in Al's taking everything, boy. And they was in Al's, and the police was just watching. Yeah, the police was just watching. We came through there. The police wasn't doing nothing. When it started getting too out of hand, then you started seeing them. They formed like a line like this, and then they just started like marching up slowly. But people got it was mayhem up there on 4th Street where we at, man. It was mayhem up there. They was snapping up there. You got it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I notice every time, something happens, you see more movies where there's like mixed race couples.
Yeah.
See that.
That's actually true. That's actually true.
And then what you said is heavy because the brothers is showing brotherhood, even though they doing something wrong, but the resources ain't so slim. So that whole crab in a barrel mentality kind of fades away when those resources aren't so slim. Right. Because people are, knock your head off for some Jordans. But right. If it's not that hard to get them. Right. If everybody can get it, everybody's right.
They created that situation, right. That crab in the barrel situation. Right. Yeah, they definitely created, take all the resources and then what? What you think a brother gonna do? Kids is crying. It's a different when the kid falls and scrape up their knee and cry, it's a different cry than a hunger cry. See what I'm saying? And no man is gonna fucking sit there and just let their kids cry like that. You gonna go do something. What? You gonna do something? You gonna sit there and let them. That's a different cry. That's not going away, And Salakia. Who was reading? Somebody pick it up. Kohar, pick it up where Tazia left off.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 12. Mm-hmm. So this device pleased them well. Mm-hmm. Verse 13. Then certain of the people were so forward herein, that they went to the king who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen.
Ain't that what the ain't that it's another scripture that say the Lord didn't give you a license to sin. I don't care what TD Jakes told you, what license he gave you. I don't care what license. What's the one that be smiling all the time? The Edomite that be like,
Is it Job?
Joel Osteen. I ain't even want to smile like that because I got one missing right there. Yeah, I can't even do that, Kahal, without you saying that. I got one missing right there.
I can't see it.
Hey, he's showing all of them. He's showing all of them. Just because they give you a license to sin, the Lord ain't give you no license to sin. And so these wicked Negroes went to go to the king to get that license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. Right? They went so that they can do what they want to do. Go ahead.
Verse 14, whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathen.
Now, what does that mean?
Does that mean they were, so I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard that they were actually butt naked.
Butt naked, yes.
Okay. Yeah, they were butt naked competing, doing sports.
Butt naked wrestling. This book right here, it's either this one or that one. You see, it's two more like that right there. Right. Like this one was a series. We got it from the live. We go to them book fairs, little book fair. We get these books for like $1, $2. It talks about Greek. It talks about the Greeks in here, and it talks about everything that First Maccabee says in the first chapter. This says in here, and this is an outside source. It doesn't quote the Bible. It's just speaking separately about the history that was going on in Greece. But it talks about how they had these damn exercise places where they butt naked. Yeah, Israelites, butt naked. And that's how they could tell you wasn't circumcised. Because your giant, bald, everything swinging. For one, right. No, that's right. Following the heathen. And, the Africans was homosexual. Esau homosexual. It's in their culture. All them statues and stuff. The statues is butt naked.
Like they do it now. They do it now when Jace want to enter into Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. You talking about them rituals and stuff?
Terry Crews, how he went in there and he said that the dude grabbed, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, he disappointed me.
They do that right there. That's like also like a form of butt breaking.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. Let me get the brother Kaj.
I was going to say that, the more I look at all the other all the other nations,
mm-hmm.
I think they're all gay. Because they all have some type of a gay it's.
That's why I get his back. Come on, man. Hey, he a new officer, man. Speaking his mind. You know what I mean? Damn right. They are.
Yeah, because
gay as hell.
I was looking at this Asian. They have this holiday, and they literally made giant statues of the men organ and the female organ. It is walking around with it.
That's horrible.
It's crazy.
That's horrible. And look, even before I came into the truth, there was this slogan, I know I'm not the only one that ever heard this before. I can't be the only one that heard this because people be going out of the country to these places like Bangkok and all those places, and they used to say that over there the best looking female was a male. I've heard that because of the men dressing up like women, training. Come on, man. Y'all know, I know I'm not the only one that noticed them. Lady boys. You know what I'm saying? Golly. Good night.
They had on the movie.
Yeah.
What was that movie?
I seen that.
The Hangover. He had on the Hangover.
Oh, yeah. You know what? It's good. That's funny. But I seen this documentary where they was following this doctor that left out of America, It was almost. It was, and he went over there to go get. You know, he was over there messing around, but he was over there messing around with kids, and they say a lot of them Europeans, oppressors, they be over there messing with. They go to those countries to mess with kids and you know, have homosexual trannies.
I can't get too graphic, but when I worked at you know, one of the refineries, and there was this dude. He was my boss. It was an Edomite, and he was in the military. I can't remember what branch, but he went over to one of those countries, and he was telling us he did something with a little kid.
Oh Lord!
And we was looking at him like, how are you just saying this out loud?
You tripping?
Now,
No,
we
you
didn't
tripping.
have no real human resources, HR.
Yeah.
We never had those meetings about sexual harassment at that refinery. But what he said, it just threw me back. And then
Yeah.
I asked one of my friends that was saying he was a good guy. I was like, why he a good guy? He did this.
Yeah.
Like,
He's a freaking child molester.
yeah.
It's crazy.
To the fourth power.
And he was there. Yeah, he told y'all with no
Like,
hesitation, no scruples.
And Salakia, the way he said it is if
He would do
since
it
they
again.
were over there, it was like
Oh, it's
they were
okay.
a lower life form.
Oh shit!
Almost like
Yeah,
way-
and that's
the
how
way
they
he was
believe.
talking about
Yeah.
it was just like
Yeah.
it wasn't a person that he did it to.
That's why the scriptures say when the righteous rule the earth, the people going to rejoice. When we come into rulership, the niggas that everybody hated, they're gonna be like, because you know why? We're not gonna let them kids get raped no more. Oh, you gonna die. They're not from my nation or nothing like that. But you're not gonna rape no damn kids. What the hell is you doing? You know what I mean? You're gonna die.
You want me to give you that precept?
What was that?
Ecclesiasticus 15:20.
What was that? The spirit? Yeah.
Ecclesiasticus. I did have it.
Mm-hmm.
So I get
15 to 20.
Oh, I did have it. I guess not meant. Let me see.
I know what you was.
Oh no, I got it. It's like, goddamn. It's like, here you go. Ecclesiasticus, chapter 15, verse 20. He hath commanded no man to do wickedly, neither have he given any man license to sin.
Right. You go to the DMV to go get a license. You go get that hunter's license from or no, you can get a fishing license from Walmart, right? Is that
You can do it
Walmart?
online, but you can do it at Walmart too.
Yeah, you know, you go to all these different places to get a license. You cannot get a license to sin from the Lord. He will not give you that license. You will not take a number and it's number 300 and they only on 100 and you go up there to get a license with your picture on there to do what you want to do. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. All right. So verse 14, so they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen. That's not our custom to wrestle around naked. That's their custom to wrestle around naked. And they still got that custom today. When you see them high school wrestlers wrestling, they're damn near naked to me.
They are.
That, whatever the hell they wearing is literally nothing.
It's wrong.
Yes. Yeah. Tazariwan used to wrestle. I'm glad that was a fact.
My friends did too.
You go slam each other around a few times. Oh, man, you know what? I don't want to. This ain't me. You know what I'm saying? Let me not do this. Or you start feeling weird. One of the two. You know what I'm saying? You start feeling weird. Yeah, wrestling. They still wrestling around like that today. It's literally nigh unto naked, right? Near unto naked. Verse it says and then verse 15 it says, and they made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant and joined themselves to the heathen and were sold to do mischief. Right? That's America. You just give in. You just give in. You do what your heart desires. You do what you please. And you forget about the covenant of the Most High, man. You forget how many people in America have forgot about the covenant. Every time you look at Black News 101, every time you go into the conscious community, you see brothers who forgot about the covenant. Whenever you see Christians, whenever you see brothers wearing crosses, Jesus pieces, we've all forgot about the covenant. You know what I mean? And that's a good majority of us. It's a few of us. It seems like it's a lot of us that woke. When you match it up to the amount of people that still sleep, we're a minute amount of people who waking up and know that we're Israelites. But when you look at it from our standpoint of how many people is waking up, it is a lot. It is a lot from when I first came into the truth, right? Drop down to verse, what was that, 41?
Not out of one kind.
Mm-hmm.
No, you said sold into mischief, right?
Sold unto mischief.
Good, that's like that's voting.
Voting.
That's
It's all that,
today.
right?
You know what I'm saying? Who got the best policy?
Mm-hmm.
You know, how can it suit me and my lifestyle?
Because voting is mischievous. Now, half the people don't even know what they're voting for. It'll be like it'll say all this stuff at the bottom. You just vote because you're a Democrat. You don't read nothing. And then soon as this person come into office, they build a highway through a damn mental home for mental kids that need help. They build because you voted for it. They build a road through the home, knock down the home, put the kids on the street, and build a street through it because you voted for it. You know, now the kids is homeless again. Golly, man, you don't know what you voting for. I'm just voting. Democrat. Bunch of Edomites, you don't know nothing about them, their policy or nothing like that. Somehow you just voting because that's just what you've been trained to do. You've been trained that this is my team. My team, I'm on the Democratic team. This is my team. I've been taught that since birth, and you won't switch that team. And so it doesn't matter who's on that team, you vote for them. When some of the players on that team don't even like you, they don't even want you on that team. The same people you voting for, the team captains, hate you. They don't want you on the team. You too, huh? It'll definitely come back. All right. So verse 41. And then whenever it come back, just go ahead and do your thing.
Verse 41.
Mm-hmm.
Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom.
And this is what he wrote to his kingdom, not yours or mine. His kingdom. Read on.
That all should be one people.
That all should be what?
One people.
Isn't that the slogan of America? Like we all one under all. What is it? What is it? It's been a while since I said it. All one nation under God. One nation under God. That's all should be one people. They're teaching you at an early age in elementary for us to be one people. Right? Read on.
And everyone should leave his laws.
Mm-hmm.
So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
Mm-hmm.
And sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath.
Right. Now, this is how you get people that if they're following after these laws, right? If he said all should be one people. Now think of America. How America teaches us that we're one nation under God. What did we grow up calling ourselves, y'all? Before you came into this truth, what did you call yourself? You called yourself an American. Now, if these people forget about their customs, forget about their law, and take on the customs and the law of this new place, and then I teach my kids that if I teach my kids the same stuff that I, believe, what do you think that at that time they was calling themselves? I'm gonna give it to him. Greeks. It's very simple. This is where it all starts from. But a Christian that isn't able to understand the New Testament because they don't even know, they don't even have this in the, they don't even have the history of the Greeks in the book. They got this without this. You got ham, no burger. You got Kool-Aid, no sugar. You just only got one part of the meal. You need peanut butter, no jelly, right? Because how are you going to understand, how are you going to even understand what Paul is talking about the Greeks when you don't even have Greek history? You don't understand Greek history. When you go back to Greek history, now you can start to understand why these brothers, after decades and decades and centuries of following after this religion, following after this custom, following after their gods, all of a sudden, now you can't understand why they calling themselves Greek. After hundreds of years, that's all I taught my kid that he was. What the hell you think he gonna teach his kid and his kid and his kid and his kid? They're gonna teach it. They only gonna know that they're Greeks. But I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show you how you can prove that those people that Paul went to, yeah, they were Greeks. But I'm gonna show you how you could prove that they was Israelites, right? But did we have anything else on that? Moreover, Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom, and all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws, so that all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the law. Yeah, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrifice unto idols and profane the Sabbath. Now, all throughout like the Greeks and the Romans, what was they trying to make us sacrifice? I'm gonna give it to pork. It's something about that goddamn pork, man. They was trying to, the oppressor been trying to make us sacrifice pork on the altar for hundreds and thousands of years. Did that make sense? Hundreds of years and also thousands of years, right? Because we're still doing it now, right? When they've been trying to make us sacrifice that swine for a long time, and they succeeded. You ain't got nobody strong enough to be like, all right, cut my hands off, cut my tongue off. Y'all know the story I'm talking about. Maybe I'll go into it the next time, but them brother, the lady who had the 7 sons, and they was like, nah, I'd rather you gonna kill me. I'd rather deal with the Lord than, or I'd rather die than to have to deal with the Lord on that type of aspect, right? I'd rather you kill me and put me in this big cauldron. Ain't that what they called it? A cauldron? A big pot. I'd rather you boil me. Boil the meat off the bones. Ooh, wait, add some rice to me too. I don't care. Add some rice. I don't give a shit. I'm out of here anyway. Yeah, I'm out of here anyway. And what you think Esau probably did? Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. His nasty behind. He good at eating people. Yeah, we think it was just only General Butt Naked that was eating people. Y'all know who I'm talking about, General Butt Naked. They tried to get him in the fake Israelite group, man. They tried to go and proselytize General Butt Naked. Nigga, they trying to he was about to eat everybody in there. He's just looking like, look at that little sister right there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, he looking at y'all brothers too, like, yeah. Man, look. That's what's going on over there, man. In them other camps. Oh, Lord. Yeah, they like, and look at her. She has a bush. You said anything in the bushes, right? So no, let me. Somebody show me. Somebody show me with the little bit of time that we got left, right? Show me how you can prove that the Greeks is Israelites. Show me that the Corinthians was Israelites. Somebody show me that the Ephesians was Israelites. Damn, y'all just went straight to it. I know. Damn, maybe that was it was too easy.
1 and 1.
Okay, James 1 and 1. Give me that.
James 1 and 1.
Mm-hmm.
James, a servant of God and of the Lord Jesus Christ,
Mm-hmm.
to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad.
Right. That's an excellent verse to show that Israelites were scattered. Scattered abroad means what? You ever watch that show Locked Up Abroad? Locked Up Abroad, where like somebody might be from America, right? They go to Mexico. They might spend all their money. Ooh, we run out of money. But then they have a way for you to get some money down there in Mexico. All you got to do is agree to take these packages, bring them back to America. And so you say, yeah. You say, yeah, I'll bring these packages back to America, right? Mind you, you're in Mexico. Yeah, I'll bring these packages back. And then you agree to them to try to bring something back to America. They might tell you it's 1 or 2 pounds. You get the suitcase. It's 50 pounds. 50 pounds in the goddamn suitcase. Like you're going to get caught. Literally, you're going to get caught. You know how they use some people to get caught so some people can get through. When the Mexican authorities catch you at the airport and you get locked up in Mexico, that's locked up abroad. You're locked up somewhere else. This is saying to the 12 tribes, which are scattered abroad. They're scattered abroad in all these different places, all these different countries, right? They're in other places to the 12 tribes that are scattered abroad. It should be one else in.
I have one in 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 1.
That's actually the one that I got on my Bible right now. Acts 2 and 5. Let's get that one before I get mine.
Book of Acts chapter 2 verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men, out of every nation under heaven.
Out of every nation. So we know that Israelites come from every nation. All right. Now, this specifically, 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and 1 proves that the Corinthians that Paul was talking to was not Edomites. That they clearly from this chapter right here was Israelites. And you got it, Quahal.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 1. Moreover, brethren.
Hold on. Brethren. That's it. I shouldn't even have to go no farther. When the hell have you seen him call a Roman brethren? When have you seen him call a Greek brethren? You didn't see him. You never seen him do that. The only time you ever seen him use brethren was for Israelites. All right. Moreover, and Paul is talking to the Corinthians. He says, moreover, brethren, read on.
I would not that ye should be ignorant, how that all our fathers were under the cloud.
Now, he said how all of our fathers is under the cloud. Our is a possessive pronoun. When I say our, that doesn't mean y'all's. You see what I'm saying? Our father is not y'all father. This is stuff that we learned in. This is literally stuff that we learned in, what is that, grade school? Right. Ours, pronouns and adjectives and nouns and all that kind of stuff like that. R is very specific. How our fathers can't be the same as their fathers because their fathers is a different bloodline than ours. We don't have the same, although people like to say here in America, the founding fathers. Oh, your founding father, the founding father. They're not our fathers. They're Edomites that brought us here as slaves. They have no relation to us, right? It says, moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant, how that all our fathers were under the cloud and all passed through the sea. Now, what is Paul referring to?
So he's referring to the Exodus when they crossed the Red Sea.
He was correct. He was specific in what he's talking about the crossing of the Red Sea. Was there anybody else's? Was the Greeks there? I don't remember reading about no Greeks there. So that kills that. Paul is clearly talking to Israelites, not there talking to white people. Did you have your hand up? He's clearly talking to Israelites. Christian is still trying to twist that up on you. I don't know how they could try to twist it up, but I'm sure they will. Right. Read on. Because this is all a hub too.
Verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
And were all baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea.
Who was baptized to Moses? The Israelites. Read on.
And did all eat the same spiritual meat.
Mm-hmm.
And did all drink the same spiritual drink.
Mm-hmm.
For they drank of that spiritual rock that
Mm-hmm.
followed them.
Mm-hmm.
And that rock was Christ.
Now, why did Christ come again? We read this. Paul said it in his own mouth. All we've been reading was Paul. Who did Christ come for again? The Israelites. Very simple, right? Y'all do know Christ was here from the beginning, though, right? Okay. Do you need the scripture? Because I ain't see no head shake right there. You know Christ was here from the beginning.
Think of the scripture where it said of every firstborn creature. Is that the one you're talking about? The firstborn of every creation or something like that? Or what he says.
That might have been. Is that in? That's in the New Testament, right?
I think so.
That's the one. It talks about Christ being here from the beginning. It specifically talks about Christ being here from the beginning. So that right there shows that these Corinthians were Israelites. You can read down further, and you can see that they were idolaters, fornicators, stuff like that. But those are Israelites. Now, how would you prove that Ephesians, right, were Israelites? Now, when you look, let me see if I can find a bigger picture. That's the only thing about these atlases. They be having so many words and stuff on their page. They kind of take away from the picture. So, y'all probably ain't gonna be able to see this, but this is Egypt. This is Israel. Italy and all that. So Rome and all that stuff will be over here. Greece and all that stuff will be over here. Right here. Is it so far-fetched that Israelites wouldn't be right across this damn little bit of water right here in these places? How far-fetched is that? That a brother wouldn't be here? That all the Israelites had to be specifically right here in Israel? That doesn't make sense, because we not all in America today. We all around the place. So why would they think that all of a sudden, the Israelites all had to be in one place? Because we're talking this story about the Israelites like they all just have to be in one place. That's not true. They were scattered, right? Like the brother brought out, scattered abroad. They're everywhere, all these different countries. Now, how would you be able to tell? How would I be able to prove? Because okay, yeah, you just proved, yeah, your brothers just, wait, you did good. You showed me that the Corinthians were Israelites. So what? It's just Corinthians. What about everybody else in the New Testament?
To prove that the Israelites are Ephesians.
Or the Ephesians are Israelites. Mm-hmm.
You go to Ephesians 1, and it says Paul.
Hold on 1 second. Let me get there with you. Hold on 1 second. Oh, I'm tripping. Damn, I feel like I need tabs. I ain't never need no tabs, man. I can just. Yeah, I slacking on my pimping. You said 1 and 5.
1 and 1 to 5.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
It says, Paul, an apostle of Jesus Christ, by the will of God, to the saints which are at Ephesus, and to the faithful in Christ Jesus.
Now, how are you going to prove that?
I would tell a Christian that the saints is only Israelites, and I go to Psalms 50 and 5.
That's correct. That's where you would go, right? To show that that's the only place that you can go to show. It might be one more though, but to show that you have to show them that the saints are Israelites, right? Somebody was, go ahead. You got it. Of the saints. Yeah, that's definitely. I'm looking at, was you found it. Now, what else did you want from Ephesians?
Oh, that's the, because earlier in the class, we went to Ephesians 1 and 4 and 5.
Mhm.
Well.
Right.
We talk about the adoption.
Right. And he specifically say in 4 and 5, having predestinated us unto the adoption of children by Jesus Christ to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will. Pastor is just going to say, see, it's still, they can still try to misconstrue it. You have to go down to 7. To praise to the praise of the glory of his grace, wherein he has made us accepted in the beloved, in whom we have redemption. Because remember, there's a scripture in there that say about Christ only redeeming Israel, right? But that's not the one that's actually good though. But that's not what I was looking for. What I was looking for was Ephesians 2 and 11. But that's very good. You just have to do a little bit more explaining, right? But that's perfect. Now, Paul specifically says to them in Ephesians 2 and 11, and I'll read it myself. It says, wherefore remember that you, being in times past, Gentiles in the flesh. How the hell are you going to be if you're a Gentile, right? How are you going to be a Gentile in the past and not a Gentile now? It says, wherefore remember that ye being in times past Gentiles in the flesh, who are all called uncircumcision by that which is called the circumcision in the flesh made by hands. So he's saying that they were Gentiles at one point in time, and that they were called the uncircumcision by the circumcision. So I think I heard Tazia refer to this at one point in the night. And I'm gonna also tell you that Romans 11 and 26 is the precept to this, where it talks about the olive branch and the wild olive branch. That's the precept to this, right? Because the uncircumcision, so those brothers was called uncircumcision by the circumcision. So remember, you had the Jews at that time who was still in Jerusalem saying that, nah, these niggas is Gentiles, man. They worshiping Zeus and whatever else the hell they doing over there. They eating pork. They doing whatever they doing. They're not Israelites, right? But because we sinned as well, now they can come back in. So in Romans, the 11th chapter is telling you you can't say nothing about them. You can't say nothing. You can't fix your mouth to say nothing about them because you fell off too. So at this point, they was being called the uncircumcision by the circumcision. You see what I'm saying? By the Jews who still had the law and all that kind of stuff. They was the circumcision. But they was trying to say, oh, Tazia can't come in because this nigga wasn't circumcised on the 8th day. Yeah, but you sleeping with your brother's wife. You doing this. You doing that. You doing this. But you saying that he can't come in because he don't know any better. But then Paul is going to teach these brothers, and guess what? they attained a level of righteousness that was more righteous than the brothers who did have the law. So it says, wherefore remember that ye being in times past Gentiles in the flesh. Paul is trying to tell them that remember that at one point in time you was a Gentile. All right.
That's another thing you can break up.
What's that?
With the pastors.
Mm-hmm.
When they use that whole Cornelius thing, they call it clean the unclean.
Yeah. Oh man, you know what? That's what we're gonna do next week. We're gonna do Cornelius. We're gonna do Don Cornelius. Cause I know what y'all thinking. Y'all like, man, see Matazapah, he was in the Italian band. He was in the Italian band. He gotta be Edomite. I'm gonna show you that Paul was not no Edomite. Now, before I go, I gotta read this. Now I printed this off of Wikipedia. Simple Wikipedia. Now, I can use Wikipedia in the fact that it's not other history goes with it. You see what I'm saying? It's not like Wikipedia only has this right here. Yeah, and nothing else has it. So I got this right, and it's called Hellenistic period. So the Hellenistic period, right? It says the conquest of Alexander the Great was in 330 BC. It not only brought the Jews under Grecian domination. It says not only brought the Jews under Grecian domination, but also introduced the Greek language and ideas throughout the ancient world. Let me read that again. The conquest of Alexander the Great in 330 BC not only brought the Jews under Grecian domination, but also introduced the Greek language and ideas. So now we're speaking the language, but not only the language, the ideas. So like now we Greece and Rome had like the way our government is today, with like the Senate and the House of Representatives and the Senate. Also, because that came from Rome, but then a part of that system came from Greece as well. I forgot, but either way, it says his teacher was Aristotle. Alexander the Great died in Babylon 323 BC. It says a lot of the New Testament books of the Bible are letters written to the Hellenized Jews. Did I say that or Wikipedia? We ain't no nigga. You ain't met no nigga that can go in there and change a Wikipedia. You see what I'm saying? How many brothers you know going in there changing Wikipedias? None. This says a lot of the New Testament books of the Bible are letters written to Hellenized Jews. Exactly what we just read in Ephesians and in Corinthians. There was no resisting the Greek culture. You couldn't resist the Greek culture. They made it a law. We read it about it in Maccabees, where they wrote it a law that you had to forsake the law, the customs and the laws and the religion of your father. It says there are no resisting the Greek culture. So powerful was the Hellenization that even after Rome conquered the Jews, the Greek culture still continued within the Roman Empire. That's why they call it Greco-Roman Empire. Because the Greek culture was that ingrained in the earth. It was that strong. It saturated the earth. And then even after the Greeks was gone, when the Romans pop up, you have Greco, you still see Greek culture and seeping into Rome. All right. Man, I think we did. I don't think we need to prove no more, man. I know y'all about to probably go on and get it in and get on Facebook like the Greeks was black. Challenge me. You know how people do some say something crazy, and then you gonna get you some nuts. You gonna get you some nutcases that I used to get a thrill out of that. I used to just want to battle and show all my knowledge, and now I don't give a damn. You know what I mean? Because we just be arguing for days and days and days until I just gotta say, you know what? I'm beating you with every point I make, but they just can't, you know how some people just they can't let you get the last word. But you was about to say something, Taziat? You got to get more seasoned. You got to watch the men that's above you. And you know what I did? I watched the men above me. You know what the men above me do? Nothing. They do nothing. They don't give a damn. Give a damn about that stupid Facebook stuff, man. I got it because I have to get it. It's an order. Facebook is stupid. You know, all of that is stupid to me. Anyway, the Greeks that was spoken about in the New Testament was black people. We proved it. We showed it. Wouldn't make no other sense for Paul to be talking about nobody else. Paul would be a walking contradiction if he said the things that he said, but then turned around and did the opposite. All right. So with that being said, y'all got the thing up here for the brother, so he can. You got it. All right. That being said, I'd like to call out Precinct Officer Kaj.
This is the ISUPK security announcements. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to learn and shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, they are to seek counsel from the heads. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi 3, 8 through 10. Means tenth in Hebrew. Masharah. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives. Give to General Mayaka Allah.
Yeah, you can skip that part.
Priest fund. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocations.
We have the Feast of First Fruits. It will be held down at the other school, Smyrna South. Delaware South. Thashiyama be hosting that. And that will be what? Monday night? Monday, sundown. I'll be in the building. Myself, you got it.
And with that, if anybody wants to be a troop in the school, start wearing black headband, black pants, black shirt, black boots.
And with that, I imagine,
which means stand. We'll give the teacher a courtesy salute.
Just get them in.
Give the men a courtesy salute. Imagine.
Imagine, y'all.